Hi everyone, Carl from Vitzy629's channel here, and recently I modded my clear pink Game Boy Advance, which I installed a front light in there. I used the DS Lite light panel to use the front light, and also I replaced the speaker with a Game Boy Advance SP or a Nintendo DS speaker. And when I say Nintendo DS, I mean the original DS, not the DS Lite. And when you put a game in, when the game is running and when the front light's in there, the screen is very washed out. There's not really enough contrast in there, and the screen's very bright. And when I replace the speaker with a Game Boy Advance SP or a Nintendo DS phat speaker in there, the speaker's a little bit better than the original Game Boy Advance speaker. So let's do a comparison with the original Game Boy Advance speaker and the Game Boy Advance SP Nintendo DS speaker. This clear pink Game Boy Advance of mine, which I modded to have a front light and a DS or Game Boy Advance SP speaker in there, seems to have a little bit louder sound than the original. And let's compare the modded front lights to the Game Boy Advance SP's front light. The front light on the Game Boy Advance SP seems to be a little bit more contrast than my modded one with the DS Lite light panel in there. So, if you want to play Game Boy Advance games that has a front lit screen in there, use this as a front light. But the form factor wasn't very good on the Game Boy Advance SP. The original Game Boy Advance has much better form factor. And I cleaned everything, including the buttons, silicone pads, the shell, and button contacts on the motherboard with rubbing alcohol. I just wanted to refurbish it. And originally, I used the Game Boy Advance SP's front light panel, but then it broke. So I instead used the DS Lite's light panel in there. So, that's all. Bye!